Come here, baby. It's nothing bad. I just need to talk to you for a minute. Yeah. I want to tell you something. I just want to let you know how good I feel about you. Okay. Here I go. Our chemistry is so amazing. We're dealing with so much romancing. There is nothing that is written. Always good things that we just can't forget. And we don't need to be prudent, 'cause we know what we wanted and we got it. Our fire's so hot you can't extinguish. We'll survive, yeah, we'll flourish. Taking over my body, test drive, take me past the speed, let's ride. And it is so true, all the things I feel for you, that's why I'm gonna do it only with you, that's why I go so far. You touch, you touch, you touch, you touch, got me going crazy, loving you so much. You love, you love, you love, you love, don't look no further, no problems left to solve. You touch, you touch, you touch, you touch, got me going crazy, loving you.
How you heard it? Been so busy living your life, you forgot about mine. I never asked to be here. How did we end up here? Did me so wrong to my heart tombstone. I'm contemplating life. Now you got the mind playing tricks on me.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting episode of From Her Point of View talk show with your girl, Lizzie the Goddess.
And
And my
what's up,
lovely-
guys? It's your girl, Gizelle. I'm so excited to be back for our season finale. And we have a wonderful guest. And if you would love to be a guest, maybe on future episodes, then email herpointofview@aol.com.
If you are interested in checking out any of my music, my content, go ahead and subscribe to Flawless Dreams LLC on YouTube. You can also Google Lily the Goddess, and I'll come up on all social media platforms.
And you guys can follow me everywhere at Jizzy Worldwide. That's Gizzy Worldwide on all social media platforms.
Shout out to our brand ambassadors, Mimie Acosta and Lizzie Smith. Thank you so much for being so supportive. We're going to go ahead and welcome a beautiful queen to the show tonight for our finale. Professional physician, ladies and gentlemen. Filmmaker, producer, and creative director. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. And she's and let me tell you something. The fact that these women have so many hats, it's like I can just keep going. She is a co-owner of the Pink Smoke Cigar Company, LLC, writer and owner at Little Texas Entertainment, LLC Company. Have mercy, Lord. Welcome, Dr. Micaela Dartson. Come here. Show
Welcome
us.
to the show.
Hey, ladies. How are you?
Hello. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. You guys are so, you have impressive resumes. I'm like, your music is dope. The fashion's dope. Y'all are gorgeous. I'm like, wow.
Thank you. You as well. You as well. We mentioned that you are a physician as one of the many hats that you do wear. So can you just tell us, like maybe briefly, like what type of physician, and then what all the things that you do and where everyone can follow you?
Yeah, I am a podiatrist. I'm a foot and ankle specialist, and I write and produce films. I have a company called Chix, Flix, LLC, and one called Little Texas Entertainment Company, which is where I do my, I have some books I've written, tons of screenplays, and I'm also one of the creative directors and content creators for DTRTV. So we run film festivals, we do music contests, we do stuff for literary. We do literary things. We do a little bit of everything on there, but it's for our people. It's just for our people. It gives everybody a chance who would not otherwise have an opportunity to showcase their talents to do so there without any bias. So, and of course, I have the cigar company. We have the Pink Smoke Cigar Company that I co-own with Kimberly Jenkins, who is also a radio host. Our cigars are proprietary. We've hired someone to create blends for us. So you will never smoke a cigar like any of the ones in our brands. They are all unique and blended, especially for us. They are fantastic. I think I covered it.
Yeah. And where can everyone follow you?
You can follow my accounts are private right now, but for legal purposes. But the Pink Smoke Cigar Company, Pink Smoke 4U, Pink Smoke the number 4 letter U.com. You can follow me. You can start there, and maybe on my other sites.
Right.
A podcast called Chix and Sticks. It's a cigar podcast. So 2 Chicks and Sticks. But once you get on Pink Smoke, you can find me everywhere. Just follow the dots.
Okay.
I like it.
All right. Well, that's very
Network.
impressive.
Okay.
You know we got network.
Yeah.
Do you have any films that are out with your 2 Chix flicks?
We have a lot. We do a lot of short stuff. We work with a lot of comedians. We also have a comedy segment called Savage Comedy. So we do have a lot. If you go in there, we have so much right now. Right now, we're working on 2 feature films. Currently, right now. So you'll see them.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's what's
Lizzie's
up. So
famous question.
Yeah. I'm gonna get to that one next. I'm gonna do that right now.
The famous question.
I already got the answer. What's your zodiac sign?
Aries, March 29th.
March 29th?
Yeah.
You said March 29th?
Yeah.
My 11-year-old daughter's is the 27th. March 27th.
I have a twin, an identical twin.
So wow.
Different personalities, yeah.
Different personalities?
But it's convenient in the film world, like, when if you're acting and you have a scene and you need your twin to take over just for like maybe even to be a stand-in.
Have you guys ever switched roles, done the little switcheroo?
In college, we did. We would go to class for each other.
Hey, don't say that on public.
They must have so much fun driving too.
Yeah.
Confusing them and everything like that. Ooh, I love it. So from your point of view, what do you think the dating scene is like for someone in the industry like yourself?
It's funny. I'm really I always say that I'm sociable, but I don't socialize. So for me, I'm really picky because I never want to be anybody's short-term investment. But I have a cousin, Katie Albert. She's on the Friday movies.
Beautiful. Oh, really? Katie Albert. Okay.
We were talking about things. She said she'd never date another celebrity again. They're just too fickle. But I don't know. Me, I'm the kind of girl. I like. I'm a personality person. I go for personality first. So I'm a people person. So I'm not going to just go and look at somebody's status. I mean, I don't want to approach Joe, but I'm not necessarily looking for a person in the entertainment industry or anybody who's a physician or anything like that. It just comes. It just depends on who you are and your energy and what I feel.
Right.
I like that. I like that a lot.
So how has your experience been? Have you been married before or that?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So you've got experience.
Lots of experience. Lots of experience. Lots of mistakes. I learned so much. I tell you, one thing I learned about marriage and relationships. People say that marriages are hard. Marriages are not hard. You look at your friendship. This is what I tell you what I learned. I used to get so mad, and I would say things. You should never say things that you can't take back. But I realized one day, and I tell my husband, I said, you know what? I treat my friends better than I treat you, and I apologize because how can you love someone and talk to them crazy, but you respect your friends and they don't cut you like the way your husband does, or your boyfriend, or anything like that. So I had to. Just a lot of things I had to learn to tame myself down, to really take a look at myself, and I tell you also what I learned in retrospect is that although you think when you leave relationships and you meet people, you think, okay, well, sometimes we think, okay, well, I met somebody else better. I'm done with this person. You always take the baggage from the previous relationship where you are, and the baggage doesn't even start with relationships. It starts in your childhood. I had to go all the way back because I did some therapy because I had to figure out why I stayed in my marriage, why I dealt with things that I should never have dealt with. and it just stemmed right back to my childhood. And you have to really clean yourself up, take some time off. I mean, years. I've been alone for years. So maybe about 5 or 6 years. And you need that. You have to, and there's nothing wrong with that. You have to start from ground zero and work on yourself before you start bringing your garbage or your bullshit into somebody's life, because you think you may be well-meaning and you may be kind, you may have your person's back. There may be one thing a person that triggers you that's not that person's fault, but it's something that you have not worked out in your previous situations. So you have to work on yourself. That's a must. Self-love is so important.
And I'm happy that you mentioned childhood. I was talking with a friend was it yesterday or the day before, and what I was talking about was a guy that she was dating, and like how things would, like characters built from childhood. The lack of parenting, whether they had the parent or both parents or whatever was in their life, but even a present parent can have a negative effect on a child as much as an absent parent, because if that present parent is not nurturing the child, not really raising the child raising something he is barely eating, a bunch of negativity around them, negative influences around them, that shapes their character.
It does.
So that's why we have a lot of like men that have like mommy issues, and that's a sign of a red flag as well. You gotta know about that. But we have a lot of men that have a problem with their emotional intelligence, controlling the emotions, having conversations. They want to walk off or be angry, or some are abusive, things like that. And it goes back to the root is in the childhood.
Oh yeah.
Why they are this way. Can they change? But they would have to want the change, and that's a lot of work that would have to be done.
That's right.
In order for that to happen.
It's right. But you said, I remember when I was in medical, my parents stayed together. My dad's dead. My mother is actually 94 today. And my dad was super passive. My mother was like aggressive. She wasn't the best person on the planet. But I never forget, I was telling a guy when I was in medical school, I was dating a guy, and I was telling him some things about my mother. And the way I had a conflict, he said to me, and it just stabbed me in the heart. He said, "You talk about your mother, the way she acts, but you act just like your mother." That hurt me so badly, but it was true, because it was a learned behavior. And sometimes, like you're saying, we learn those behaviors. I mean, it may not be in us, but that's what we see, and we emulate it unconsciously. So it's so important. Therapy is so important.
Yes, because children are sponges. They sponge up that. They say you are yourself, like you're a little version of yourself by the age 5.
Yeah.
Most people like your version of yourself, like your future self. So at the age of 5. And it's a lot of it is learned behavior from lack of or whatever you've been influenced by. So it's just, I just like that you mentioned that. But as far as like in the dating world, now, are you still taking time, or are you ready or already out there?
I'm taking my time. You'd be surprised, even at I'm 59, you'd be surprised that men in their 50s and 60s, they are still as immature and emotional as men in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. I don't know I think the important thing is, if a man has not worked on himself, he hasn't worked on his issues, just don't fuck with him. I mean, you have to. Right. People tell you who they are right away. They tell you who they are, and pay attention to those flags. Listen to what they say about themselves. If they don't pay attention to things that are important to you, like I'm just such an easy person. I mean, you text me, I'm happy. I don't need to have a 20-hour conversation with you. But if a person can't even return a text or anything like that, they don't have 2 seconds of time for you. That's not your person. Most of the time your friends ain't gonna treat you like that, Right. And I'm not trying to be your friend. Like sometimes I might not talk to my best friend for a whole day, but that's fine. But if you have some type of interest in me and you say you love me and stuff, and you don't have a second for me, that's not it. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a shame that people are just still playing games. I saw I don't know if it was a nurse, I can't remember what it was, but it was a video, and she said like she gets a lot of older aged men that that are sick, some on their deathbed or just very sick, and then she'll ask them, "Where's your wife?" or "Where's your?" And then a lot of their responses, "Well, I was a player in my day," or stuff like that. So she just made the point at the end of her video, like a lot of men are dying alone because they're playing games and missing out.
Yep.
Yeah. That's sad.
It is.
And then I think there's this big thing that has gone on in the internet. I'm pretty sure you've heard of it, where there's this focus. It's called. I'm not gonna say what the name of the freaking YouTube channel thing is called, but they talk about the females today. But their view on females today is so narrow, it's so limited because they're putting us all in one category, suggesting that all women from the age of 30 and up, specifically, they have standards that are way too high, and that's why they're single. And then they show these little clips of some women saying, I was taught to just be, to think about my career and myself, but that was the wrong decision. I'm so lonely. Da da da. They show those little things, and they kind of, how TV and the internet is, they try to paint this picture for the masses to follow. We all know that's not how it is. We make our decisions from ages 30 and up, especially and that's subjective for our own reasons. But if it's not that our standards is too high, is that we
have boundaries, Lily. It's because we have boundaries, and you
boundaries
experience, and people think they're mistaken that for boundaries. That's all.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. If you don't like it, then just move along. But that doesn't mean that we're hard to get along with it. That being a career woman doesn't mean that you can't date or nobody, that you're not dateable. You've learned so much along your way that you know what you're not going to put up with, what you're not going to put up with. I think women are easygoing, but I think a lot of times they think we're pushovers. But we do have a lot of play too, because I know a lot of women. As much as we say the men cheat, women are the coldest cheaters on the planet. You got that.
Y'all, you can't never find out.
You can't catch it
unless they want you to.
Hard to catch it, unless you want to, because. Which I'm not saying it is good, because that still leaves you empty. You get mad at the person, and you go and you hook up with somebody else. You still haven't proved the point. You just fucked your temple up a little bit.
Right.
Everybody can afford a Bentley. Feel like a Bentley. Everybody can afford it. So don't give your jewels away, ladies. But women, and some of my, even my America, they're some of the coldest cheaters in the world. But to them, it's like it's like a lick back to them. But that's not a good lick back. So y'all don't do it.
Right. The best revenge is silence sometimes. Just elevation.
Power. There's power in walking away. Power in minding your business, working on yourself, dusting the shoulders off. I mean, maybe you want to keep the door open, but you don't have to. That doesn't mean you get to take a person back. But yes, silence is the most powerful tool that you can use. No revenge, no lick back. Move on with your life. Move on and do your shit.
Right. I'm gonna scoot over to the comment section. Lizzie Smith says, she wants to know, is there one person you could work with in film, and who would it be and why? Like, if there was one person you could work with in film, who it would be and why? This is directed to you, Dr. Micaela.
For me, I would love to work with Viola Davis, or I can't think of. She was on Orange Is the New Black, and she's in The Color Purple. I respect them so much. I respect their talent. Actually, I'm working on a screenplay right now that I cannot think of her name. I'm drawing a blank. She's the Orange Is the New Black.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
I have her in mind for my character. I would love to work with. I respect, and Angela Bassett. I respect them. I respect them so much. And Kathy Bates. I would love. They're powerful. I would love to work with either. I would love to write something for them. Y'all hear me? Please let me write something. I'm a great writer.
so basically, because your style in writing is mainly centered around like deep topics, drama.
There's something comedies, drama, both. Actually, I'm working on an HBCU TV series. It's really, really, really powerful.
Did you ever work with Tyler Perry?
I would love to work with Tyler Perry. I really would like, and Elvin Ross. Elvin Ross, I had the pleasure of meeting him, and he has a film out called Kunta Kinte Island, and goes back and he documents where he, his family and where he was stolen from. I think it was West Africa, but I would love to work with either one of them. Oh, Elvin Ross did all the music for Tyler Perry in the beginning. I don't know if he still does, but he just opened the film studio. But I would love for Tyler Perry to see any of my work. I really would.
Right.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's nice. He's funny too. He's a Virgo. I know that. I had to look
And I went to Xavier. He's from New Orleans, and my alma mater is Xavier University, so got that in common.
Okay.
And so, do you think that, from your point of view, when it comes to dating, do you think that people need to be kissing on the first date, or should there be no kissing on the first date, and why?
I'm a little bit. I've learned from experience. You should really get to know a person. Get to know them. Get to know their habits. You don't have to jump right in anyway. I want to know about you. I want to know what your likes, your dislikes. I want to know if you floss and brush. You know, kissing might lead to something. If kiss might be so good, you might end up, horizontal, and you don't want to do that. So, if that's your thing, you want to kiss, fine. I mean, that might be a memorable moment, but just kind of keep it PG. Don't give all your goodies away on the first date.
Right.
Yeah.
They have to earn it. You have to earn it too. Each of you have to earn it. Just don't your body. It's a temple. Treat it like a temple. Don't let people run through you.
Right.
What is the number one thing from your point of view, ladies? Everybody, even the comment section, y'all can answer too. You already know. From your point of view, what is the number one thing that every woman needs to remember when she goes on that first date with her date?
Am I starting this?
Yes, you're gonna go first.
The power rests in you, and you set the tone. The guy's taking you out, but just because he spends a lot of money on you does not mean that that's an exchange for your body, anything like that. So, I would suggest getting to know the person. You may be wildly attractive, but your relationship will be so much better if you focus on being that person's friend first before you become that person's lover. There's nothing better than dating and falling in love with your friend. So just keep it together. And it's okay to treat too sometimes. Maybe you want to pick up, maybe you want to buy them a drink after dinner or something like that. You don't have to always. I don't think all the responsibility and monetary responsibility has to lie on the man when you go on a date all the time. So, but hold yourself up as an honorable woman to start. So you set the precedent, you set the tone for how everything's going to go from there out. So if you're giving it up, then he knows he can smash you anytime. So don't be that person. Let him work a little bit for it. Men like little chicks. So just don't be so easy. Everything is not about you pounding and smashing right away.
Gizelle?
And I agree. I think friendship is a very important, essential component to dating. A lot of people are rushing and they don't even have friendships, and then you really don't even like the person. Like you're irritated because they maybe about the way they dress or their likes and interests, or they snore. Like you're just irritated about the way they laugh. Because you didn't get to know them really. It was really based on lust. You can't lead with lust. And so, because you want to have a clear mind, you want all the lust to subside and be like thinking with your mind, And friendship is very important, because if it does get to that next level of like love and y'all being together, it's even better. It's even stronger. It's more respect in it because you guys are friends, you can talk. But sometimes, friendships are better than even intertwining sexually with a person. Sometimes because they can last longer. Sometimes like doing that, that stuff coming together, the birds and the bees, all that, it causes conflict, and then you guys gotta go your separate ways. Whereas you could have worked together, you could have did business together, you could have created together, you could have laughed together, you could have talked, shared experiences together, and had friendship. So a lot of people lead with lust and they don't value friendship.
You know what, Gizelle? Sex always gives the illusion of love. When you have sex, then you love a person, and you don't know. You're just going on a raw emotion, and you haven't even really gotten a chance to know that person.
Right. And a lot of people make those decisions in their 20s.
Yeah.
It's something that you mentioned, Lily, earlier about with the career driven. I wanted to ask, do you think like it is harder for women that, maybe focus on their careers, getting their degrees or doctorates or whatever passions that they're pursuing, and put that first, and get financial stability, and they're very smart, and they're a made woman. Um, I'm not even asking, do you think? Because I know it is. It's kind of harder for them. Why? Are men insecure? Are they not feeling adequate? Are they jealous? Or what is it?
Men who have not achieved are jealous. I never forget. I was finishing my residency. No, finishing medical school, and I was about to head to my residency. No, I was in St. Louis doing an externship, and I ran into a guy that I had dated in college, and then we just kind of just hooked up again. But he was so jealous of me. I mean, he wasn't doing anything at the time with his life. But I think if a man is secure enough, and if he has a career, and I'm not saying he has to be a physician or anything. I mean, you just have your life, and you have a set life, and you have a place to live. They're fine. But men who have not achieved, haven't met their achievements, or not where they want to be in life, will have a problem with a woman who is more educated, who makes more money. Yeah. So you really have to listen, because I knew I couldn't do with that guy when he started making fun of me as a physician. And I never forget, I needed someone to sign my contract for my hospital that I was going to.
Mm-hmm.
He signed this joker. I think that about like 8 inches. It was bigger than John Hancock's signature. He did it all.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, and I couldn't, I had to get it back in there. So he did that to me. But yeah, the only problems I've ever run into were men who just didn't have their lives together yet.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's something. And it seems with it just seems that a lot of men, not all, there are a lot of men who are not, meeting their goals or accomplishing things, or behind. And that goes back to childhood, the roots that are their foundation. But we can't just continue to be victims and be stuck on the past and what you didn't have. I didn't have this. I didn't have love. I was in a foster family. I lived on the street. Yes, but you have control of your own life. You have to take strides. You got to change your past and your future. So you can't just stay complacent and stuck and complaining about why you didn't go so far or whatever, what happened in the past. Now, what are you going to do now?
Exactly.
Is a question. But it seems like there are a lot of men that are just behind, or maybe not, and then and I know that, depression or, self-doubt and things like that get in the way sometimes. That's a human thing. But it is a lot of men that are behind.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think about that. Like, what is that?
Like their development
like women,
kind of
we're going higher, we're going faster, we're doing more.
We are
opening businesses, getting degrees, and then they try to talk about that. We don't care about that, in the podcast world, because the podcast world is pitted women against men. It's just a whole beef between women and men. But yeah,
I think, I'll say for Black men, I think systemically, we have, we've always been a backbone. 40s, 50s, 60s, we've been a backbone of our men. We made things happen for our men. But systemically, they've been held down so much by the system, career-wise, job-wise, and stuff. So that's a little bit, a lot. Actually, a lot of the problem when you look at it, and you look at the introduction of crack into Black neighborhoods and stuff, like from the 70s. I mean, you look back in the 40s and 50s, you see like people, my grandfather stuff. They were, they dressed nice, they worked. But when they started introducing crack in there, and they started trying to tear apart our families and tear apart our men, they're slow to recover. But we have always been that backbone. Even when they were on drugs, when they were in jail, who picked up the slack? The women did. So
yeah,
strong. We've been strong. We have to be strong. We have to stay strong, because even in relationships, even in marriages and stuff, we have to hold our own, because sometimes we get betrayed so much. And if it's not betraying our men and causing our men to fail, I mean, a lot of times they fail us. A lot of times it could be because of their insecurities. And then, like I said, when we go back to them not addressing those childhood wounds, they do things because of those hurts and things that those negative seeds that were planted in them. And they can't be everything they need to be for us.
Right. Then if you're trying to, sometimes when you're trying to help a person, and if you're seeing something or a direction that they're going, and it seems that maybe they're doing things wrong a lot, and say maybe their ego is getting bruised because you keep correcting or offering or suggesting something different. You're nagging. You're being too mothering, But I'm seeing, or as a woman, we're seeing this is not going to work out. This is what you should be doing. I feel like partners, should listen more to each other, especially men with women, because the women, like you said, have always been the backbone. We know what we talking about. A smart woman, not because there's some crazy women out here, some crazy ratchets.
Yeah.
That ain't got nothing going for themselves. There's a lot of them, you understand? But it's a real woman that got some sense, head on her shoulders. She know what she talking about, you know what I'm saying? So that man, because, behind that king is the queen.
Yes.
And beside him, you understand what I'm saying? The queen moves across the chessboard. We really run this, you understand? The men better understand this. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We really run this. But listen, when you got a smart woman telling you something.
Yeah, we're the most educated. We're the most educated of any human being in this country. Black women are. We are doing it, and we don't mind. And it's in our nature to be nurturing. But I think that when it comes to having, you have to really learn what triggers your man and how to help him in a way that is complimentary and not derogatory to him. That's
the way you put it. It's the way you talk to the man.
Yeah. Yes. And the way you offer the help.
Yeah, because I guess they don't want to know it all either,
Right.
It's the way you talk, the approach.
Yeah. Yeah, got to be genteel.
Yes. Because they still, men still want a submissive, the feminine woman, a woman that's going to listen. But, I've been hearing, and, this, they say, because the men, they want to lead and stuff. So how you gonna lead me? You don't know where you lead. What you gonna lead me to the structure?
You don't know where you're going.
You gonna lead me to the fire? You got to know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know. You can't. Every man is not a leader, even though you're supposed to be. You got to get your leadership skills up.
Okay, and that's what I want a man who can lead me, and I don't mind. I'm submissive. I'll fix your plate. I'll rub your feet. I mean, because I know you're gonna do for me too. I'm a nurturer. I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna treat you like I'm gonna treat you like a baby. I'm gonna do for you. But
right, Lily,
equip yourself, man. Equip yourself to lead. And it's I think a lot of men miss the point. They think that we need so much, but they don't realize how important communication is to us. And it's not like we don't need to talk to you for 50 hours a day, but you just send an emoji, just a say how you doing.
It doesn't take long to it takes 2 seconds.
Your time.
Go to the bathroom, send a text. It only take a minute.
Yes, men, if you are listening, we are easier than you think. We are communicators, and we don't need you to give us everything. Just a little something. That's all.
Right.
Just something to work with, and if for all the men tuning in, this is not a show where we bash our men. We love our men. We love our king. But if you really want to get inside the mind of women, tune into this show from her point of view, and you can get inside our minds, especially from a mature woman's perspective. This is what it's about. Come get that insight. You got questions? Come and ask us some questions in the comment section. We want to answer. Yeah, we're open to communication. Communication is key. And yes, like what you were saying, everything stems back from childhood. For males and females.
Yeah.
How females are raised, how the males are raised. If there's mommy and daddy, how mommy and daddy are behaving in the house. Are mommy and daddy a-holes treating and they gave birth to little a-holes and they're treating them like little a-holes? Or are they or do you have, a sound advice going through your house, from mommy and daddy or aunt and uncle? Because some people don't have their mom and dad, but they're raised by aunt and uncle, grandma, grandpa, or whoever, or even cousins. And some people are they don't see their parents, but they see a lot of their teachers. or
Yeah.
they're see and they're learning stuff from school. So again, yeah, childhood is the foundation. And a lot of people want to play victim, but it's like you have your own brain, the beautiful thing that God has given you, the tool that you can, as you absorb things in life, you can decide between right and wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's right and you know what's wrong because you feel it, not just your brain's not just has learned it, but you feel it in your gut.
Mm-hmm.
You feel it. And children are so wise. People don't give children enough credit. They are very
Mm.
wise.
Oh yeah. They're not
They're like
stupid by
little
any means.
grown-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They got that sass, and that sass that some of our kids have, and then when they say, mommy, no, I don't
Right.
want to talk to someone. Let them keep that energy because that's going to save their life as they get older. That's
Yeah.
going to save their life. Let them keep that energy.
Yeah. I see
Right.
Bernadette says communication is key. I think the problem with a lot of men is that when you do want to talk, they think you're going to nag. So
Yeah.
That's
uh,
facts.
it is
That's
you just have to find a way to do it. You don't, I say again, if you hang out with your girl, your best friend, when you want to talk to your girlfriend, you're not going to scream at your girlfriend and cuss your girlfriend out, right? Your best friend, you're not going to do that. You should treat your significant other with the same level of respect. Treat them like you would treat your BFF.
Right.
Really, it'll make all the difference in the world.
That's
And,
right.
But sometimes even when you are communicating at that level, it's just because you're calling out BS or you're speaking the truth or you're seeing or foreseeing something.
mhm.
And sometimes the truth or too much of it seems like it's clashing with what they're doing is
When you make
considered
too much sense.
nagging.
When you make
Making too much
too much
sense.
sense to
Right,
someone
right.
who don't want to face the facts, they're not ready
Yeah,
to confront their
So that's
mistakes.
nagging.
Because
yeah.
That's nagging.
now they have to admit to themselves that they were wrong.
Mhm.
And for some reason,
Mhm.
some people listen to what I just said. They have a problem in their heads. That's the immaturity level. It's like, well, fine, you're right and I'm always wrong. And I'm like, instead of focusing on the right and wrong, my friend, how about you
Right.
just focus on the message, the message, the
And
message?
accountability.
Right.
Yeah, and take accountability.
That's right.
Right.
That's one of the hardest things I think for people to do is to take accountability because
Yeah.
you feel so attacked and then you don't want to be wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. Admitting that you're wrong, taking accountability resolves a lot of things, and then you can work from that. But and sometimes people will go to counseling, but sometimes people go to counseling because they want a counselor to tell the other person that they're wrong. They don't want to. They don't want to listen to understand. They want somebody to beat the other person up because they want to win. That is not how you do it. It's not about
Right.
winning. It's about getting along. It's about growing together.
Right.
Yeah, narcissism is a very big thing that
Oh
happens
yeah.
around here.
Oh yeah.
Narcissists are trending these days.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. That's the truth.
They said, my friend was like, she said they got all types of terms for narcissists. They call one of them a malignant narcissist.
Oh, yeah.
They got all types of terminologies for different diverse narcissists. I'm like, dang, what is going on? Like, and then I see videos of men saying, just because that man don't want to talk to you, don't make him a narcissist. Because it seems like everyone's calling every man a narcissist, but
and most narcissists are gaslighters too. You have to watch that, and I'm gonna tell you, whenever you see that, if a person gaslights you, if you come at a person from a calm place, you don't have to stay in a relationship. Someone will say that, because the sex is good and stuff. Somebody else can give you great sex too, but there has to come a point in time where you respect yourself. Because if you do not respect yourself and you stay in relationships where you with the narcissist and the gaslighter, you will never, ever, ever get respected. That man will take delight in being with another woman and dragging it in your face. All he wants to do is hurt you because hurt people hurt people. Narcissists are hurt people. Gaslighters are hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. And you know what? Your integrity means everything. Have some integrity and walk away from anything that doesn't work. You don't need it. Walk away, start over, get some help for yourself, and figure out what it is, what made you stand in the first place. Because our egos keep us in situations that we don't need to be in a lot of times. And I had to learn about my ego from my therapist. And I just learned so much. I learned so much. I'm so grateful I did. Because believe it or not, even when I was in college, I was one of those Black people who thought that, Black people don't do therapy. this is a girl going to college, getting a college education, and I had to, you know, I had to take a hard look at myself, like, sister, you spinning on a wheel. You like a hamster spinning on a wheel. You need to do something about yourself. And then when you sit in a marriage and you just keep trying to make things work when the other person doesn't want to help themselves. You know, it was affecting my physical health as well. So I couldn't do it anymore. So it really was.
I think therapy is very essential. You know, that doesn't mean anything is wrong with you.
No.
Sometimes you can identify things that are the causes of some habits you may have, and you didn't even know. It helps you just dig deep and become better.
And I'm a person
in a relationship, yourself, anything.
Right, and I know all of us, we can probably give the best advice, but sometimes we can't follow our advice. So that's when you know you have a problem.
That's a thing. Like sometimes, like when you're talking with your friends and you hear what they're dealing with, girl, it's easier to say, leave, you need to do this. But when you know you in them shoes, you be lingering around and settling and tolerating, so it's easier to say than to do. But on the outside looking in, you definitely can be a therapist and give all this advice, but we should be taking our own advice as well.
Yeah, and one thing I noticed to be true is that sometimes the person giving advice, sometimes, not all the time. Again, everything is subjective, but like there are times where those, and shout out to those people who do this, where they're preparing themselves to move on. And they're giving you the advice that they know that they are going to take, but they want to make sure you take it and don't take as long as they've taken.
Okay, yeah.
They said, I know, I recognize I've taken long, and then they said, I don't want you to do the same mistake I've done because look how it affected me. But I'm preparing myself to take that leap. And I've met people who've done that. They've taken the leap and they've separated. I've seen marriages ended because of that, because they were in marriages for a very long time. You see those people who are in marriages for a long time, and those marriages were not happy marriages. The wife wasn't happy. And then you have some people saying, well, why'd you stay married to this person so long? There's a lot of things that go into it. A lot of people think everything's just black and white. There's a lot of color on that palette, to add to detail as to why, maybe the woman, if it's a woman, maybe she stayed because of the kids and, the husbands, because he was the provider and he left her in a position where she wasn't able to bring anything in. There's a lot of people like that. A lot of people say, well, how could somebody stop you? Many reasons. Maybe she's disabled. Maybe she can't get out. She don't have a car. Shout out. I see you in the comment section. I'm talking about you. You know who I'm talking about. And then, because my thing is, writers, and you're a writer too, Ms. Dr. Micaela. We write what we know.
That's true.
So when I'm telling you these case scenarios, I don't say names, but I'm telling you real people's life case scenarios that they said, Lily, go right ahead and you tell them my story. You don't have to tell them who it is, but you can tell them my story because that's testifying. And they and you if you want to know who it is, that they'll reach out themselves. But anyways, like I said, I'm only going to put forth what I know. And what I know is that it's a lot of case scenarios. It's not that simple.
Right.
It's not as simple as people think. Oh, just leave the person. I can't tell you how. Like, I used to be one of those folks, and I apologize. I was one of those people who says, why is it so difficult? Child, well, now I know.
Right.
I didn't know, but now I know.
Right. You never know what a person's going through. For me, it's like I had stepkids, and I was raising them. I was more present than their mother, so that was a factor. And I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed because I didn't want to fail. Over like almost 500 people at my wedding, and then people thinking you're a power couple, and then here you are a power. I felt like a failure, and I just couldn't do it. I remember before my dad died, I went to talk to my parents, but I didn't tell my father that I felt like I couldn't stay in my marriage, and I sat there with him and watched The Price is Right, another game. I watched 2 games, and I just didn't have the guts to tell him that I felt like I needed to leave. I mean, it was like it it was so burdensome on me emotionally. And I was like, I would go shopping again in the Walmart parking lot, crying my eyes out, getting groceries from, at the family and just sitting there and trying to pull myself together before I got home, or in the shower crying, I'm crying my eyes out, So, and I don't think I'm going to say that I did everything right, because I didn't. And I have acknowledged the things I've done wrong, and I talked to him about it, and I apologize. And we have an awesome relationship. We're very close, but just you just really, and I saw red flags even way before. You just sometimes you want things that you should not invest in. Just because you want it doesn't mean you have to have it.
Right.
Sometimes everything you want is not what you need.
Yeah, everything you want is not what you need. Amen. Facts. Spitting facts in this episode finale. Doing it right, everybody. Doing it right. Oh, we got Gary Carter. He says, since this POV talk show is from women who are top 5%, what is most important to these women as a whole when a man desires a smart, successful, attractive, and feminine Black woman?
I'm going to say, Gary, go back to what I always said, communication is so important. And having a really deep conversation, pulling the layers back and making sure that you guys like the same thing. Do you worship the same? Do you like the same foods? Do you have the same interest in entertainment, music, all those kind of things? Because otherwise, if you don't, and you may be Catholic, somebody's Muslim, after a while, it's not going to work. So you have to really get to know a person. You have to forget the physical attraction and really get to know somebody and see if you are on the same page and they can work, and then go from there. Be willing to be patient, not just to jump into things all the time. And just because women are like the three of us may be in the top 5%, that doesn't mean we do everything right. But it also doesn't mean that I don't necessarily have to have a man who's in the top 5%. I want you to have a job. I want you to be able to hold your own. But I also don't mind. I'm a giver. I don't mind shit. I don't mind us putting it together and building. I don't mind doing, even at 59 years old. I don't mind that. I just want to live in peace. And if you are disturbing my peace, I cannot fuck with you. Period. I'm not going to. Nothing is going to disturb my peace ever again. On God. On God.
Amen. Gizelle?
I would say a lot of women that are successful or whatever, or that are pursuing things, in life and are goal oriented and driven, they still desire for a man to lead them. There's not, a lot of women are independent, not even women that are you don't have to be super financially successful, but just pursuing something. But a lot of women are independent because they've had to be.
Yeah.
Failed relationships, failed marriage, or children, raising them on where they came from, their environment. And so they were goal driven and they making things happen. And they don't really have time for somebody to waste their time. But a woman that is independent, still, many of them, they still want a man that they can just lean on their shoulder, that they can be soft and feminine.
Yeah.
They don't, that they can lead them, but you got to know where you're leading the woman. You can't just come into a made woman's life and you don't know where you're leading. You're not even you're not adding anything. And another thing, like she mentioned, like a lot of women, like even me, like we will build with a man. It's like many women, we help build and invest in men, but we don't mind doing that. We don't, all this argument on this podcast about this 50-50, it's a certain, it seems, group of women that are being more pushed in the media for that argument, like a gold digger type of, ain't no 50-50. Most of us, we will help.
Yeah,
right. In reality, yeah, we will help. Yeah.
We're not worried about no man paying all the bills and he got to pay all that. Most of us are not like that.
No,
but if you can do
it, that's cool. Yeah, thank you. I see so many women they're like I saw something. I think you all probably seen it. It was on I think Instagram. A guy had taken a girl to the Olive Garden, and she thought that it was crazy. I'm like, that is so ridiculous to me. Now, I personally don't like it because I'm real conscious of what I eat, so I won't eat there. But shit, I like hot dogs. You want to take me for a hot dog? I'm just not that kind of person. But I think, someone on here asked about marriage. I love marriage. I'm a loyal person. I'm a one man kind of woman, so I'm not a type of woman who's going to have a bunch of guys in my space, and I'd rather be alone before I would just entertain anybody. So, I would say, would you marry again? But so whoever, yeah, I would. I love marriage. I love marriage, and whoever says marriage is hard, this work is not. It's hard if you don't have your shit together, and somebody else is constantly trying to teach you how to love them. That's hard. But if you become friends first, and you get to know each other, it's not hard. I know couples that just got along, old couples that got along so well, just love each other, compliment each other. My in-laws like that. They were so great to each other, and you have to work on yourself.
You got to work on yourself, and a lot of people are in a rush to hurry up and find a partner because they're thinking about their maternal clock, whether that be the women or the guys. Like, oh, I got to hurry up, or how they say, oh, a male going after a younger female is normal, but because if he wants to have children, she needs to be in her childbearing years. And because women who are apparently around our age, we're too hard to please. That is stuff that they're spreading. That's
such horrible projection, because they played games all their youth, and now they think they can just get any young woman. You finna get used out here. You finna get used.
Thank you.
And ran through. You understand me? You gotta understand me. These young women, you understand me? You got to come up off the money, and then they be like, oh, it ain't nothing, it's just an equal exchange. No, you finna fall in love with her. You finna fall in lust love with her. You be worried about where she at and who she with, and she ain't thinking about you.
You're nothing but a zaddy. I look at it, I'm telling you, men, if a young woman like look at Shannon Sharp with the girl, the fans only.
Yes.
Okay, if you're in the fans only and you're trying to find you a babe, let me tell you something. They're looking for people that have money. They want to be supported. They're not going to do shit for you. They're going to give you enough ass to make you happy, but they're going to go and get a young man that they can be happy to parade around. So don't fool yourself.
Then they're going to try to get pregnant. I don't understand why so many of these men, these rich men, and it's the same group of women. They at the places to be. They got the outfits on. They got the body right. They at the game, front row seat. They at the concert. They know where to go, and they pulling these men. These men are idiots. Keep getting these women pregnant and getting sued, and they getting checks and paid rich. Yes. What is wrong? And getting reality shows off these men. These men got to be smartened up out here.
Yeah, so you know what? You look at the women you see in the shade room, places like that. These women, they date in the same circle. They date the same NBA people. They date if they dated one singer, they're gonna date another singer. They stay in the same circle, and they just get tossed around like trash.
And then they complain, oh, I'm lonely, I didn't find one, because you're still messing with the wrong source.
Yes. Yeah, and then you see him on there talking about, I'm hitting with my babies, he's out there with another woman. Well, of course. He ran all through you, now he's going to the next one. That's what happens. You older men who are stupid enough to do that, they running through you too. It's a joke. They just want your money, they want to be taken care of, but maybe some men like to be used.
But listen to me clearly. I wrote that on Facebook. I got almost 1,000 likes on it. I commented on something. It was about Shannon Sharp. No offense, but I was like, I guess older men like being used because y'all getting used. And so, and it was like a lot of people like that, and they was like, yes, they sure do, and they don't care. But some men was like, it's just an equal exchange. They was just trying to But listen to me. I said you got to check your self-esteem. I told this one guy, I think you have low self-esteem.
Yeah, that's prostitution. So you're giving money in exchange, but you can get that anywhere. You can find a woman who's career oriented, who has a woman who could take you out, who could buy you Gucci as well. It could do the same thing that you can do.
Cook you a home cooked meal. You understand me?
Okay. We do it all. But no, y'all
exactly.
Girls that want the
Gary Carter.
You throw the sausages and twerking and shit and wearing pajamas and airports and bonnets. That's what y'all.
That's right. I like that we have this gentleman over here interacting with us. Thank you, sir. Gary Carter, come on now. He says, S Sharp, you cannot compare superstar status with regular white collar man.
He said, "Come on now, you can't compare superstar status with." Wait a minute, okay, with Shannon Sharp, but still, are you talking about like he's on a different level? Of course, with different levels come different devils, but he's still getting used. Look, he getting sued. Well, I think he tried to offer her $10 million and she rejected that. He might win later on because she rejected it and proved, because he's been proven in the text messages she wanted this type of BDSM relationship, because these women be lying. They be calculating things that they text you. You got to be careful of things. They be recording you, plotting to get paid.
They keep receipts. I'm listening to you, Gary Carter. You may not be a celebrity, but you bank on a celebrity level. I know who Gary Carter is. So Gary is a very well-educated man, a career-oriented man. So you may not have the celebrity status of him, but you have the financial means to attract a woman whose standards are just as low as the one that Shannon was screwing. So
right.
I mean, you may not be a celebrity, but you ain't safe either. But I hope you're smarter than that.
Be smart.
Yep.
Yeah. A lot of men are fumbling a real one, playing games. So don't be a player too long. You understand? But when you're ready, sometimes you got to get that karma. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, because you got to reap what you sow in life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like sometimes you might meet somebody and then she might be your karma. She might break your heart. Right. Because you got to reap what you sow. But your time is coming.
You're making positive karma. You're going to get it. You are going to get it.
You're going to get it 10 years, 20 years. It's coming for you. You understand me? Men and women, the karma does not miss. You understand me? I can't understand. Like, it's a lot of women that be like, I don't owe her no loyalty, sleeping with married men and just don't care. And you don't know somebody, but do unto others as you would have done unto you. Like, why is it that women can be so evil in that way, but when the shoe is on the other foot, and usually it is, or if it were on the other foot, you crying, you depressed, you posting sad memes, you talking to your friends, you understand what I'm saying? But you was doing these things, you was hurting another. Don't be a part of that man's mess, or whoever, if they're in a bisexual relationship, whatever. Don't be a part of someone else ruining someone else's life.
Oh, you mean the reverse pineapples?
All right.
You know what, Dr.
I'm too selfish. I don't share. I'm too selfish.
You won't believe who I learned that from. My daughter.
Oh.
I told you, Gizelle. My daughter done told me about. She taught me about the reverse pineapple, and then I saw that was that fruit, the eggplant. And status, and I saw it, but I never paid attention to it. So one time we had it on this show, and I said it will have to edit it at some point. It was with me and my other co-host. Shout out Mimie. And I said eggplant. Say what? And they were code language. They're like, Lee, we know about the eggplant. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Like, you didn't know that.
It went over my head. It went over my head. I swear, it went over my head. I was like, because I didn't put my head in the gutter. I was like, oh, what are we talking about? I hate when everything's related. Why does everything have to be related to fruit?
All right, I'm gonna tell you something. I like swinging. If you got to be in a relationship where you got to screw other people, leave me out of it. I am a one-man kind of woman. It's me and you. I am too selfish to share. I'm not going to share myself. I have never been that person. I'm like, I just don't understand. I don't understand how married people can do this stuff. Why marry if you want to be there?
It doesn't last. It already. And I'm not again. I don't say names, but I do know folks, and they, married people hooking up with other married folks, and they switch partners, and the villages in Florida. Sorry, I'm just saying it. Is known for that, and I don't know why. It's so beautiful. It's the Spanish villages. It's very, very nice. But for some reason, it's a lot of married folks, and they swapping partners. I'm like, what's going on here? What is this?
Crazy.
Does anybody value the value?
Why did y'all get married? If that's what y'all wanted to do, y'all should just been single, doing what y'all wanted to do.
That's why conversations are important. Learn their sexual habits, what they like. Because there's so many people. I'll never forget. I have a friend who is gay, and I rode with him somewhere. And so we met up with another guy who was married. I don't know if he's married now, a married man, two kids, and we stopped off at his grandmother's house. Nobody was there, and I went to the restaurant. Came out, they were throwing down, kissing the couch. This man is married with
oh my God,
children, and he's gay. I'm like, why? But his wife knew it, and she said that if he tried to leave her, she would tell their sons he was gay. I would never have been in that kind of relationship, but if you know that you're bisexual, if you swing, let that talk about it first, because there are a lot of people who roll like that. But you have to remember that is why you have to get to know a person before you speak with them, before you get anything. Get to be friends with them. Don't be in a hurry.
Right. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy life. My daughter and I, we did a song that's called Journey of Love. It's available on all music platforms. Yes, I'm shamelessly advertising.
I'm going to listen to it when I get out.
Yeah. You get to hear my baby. She's rapping. Oh, my goodness. Yes. Now, my sweetheart is always going to be my baby. I don't care what nobody say. She's, like I said, she's turning 21 this year. And she's always going to be my baby. Always. Okay. And then it's a really good song about, love yourself first. That's the moral of the message of the song. Love yourself first. Know who you are before you invite somebody else into your space. What do we got? In reference to women seeking solid relationships, in my experience, women say we're the good men, but we're the good men, but then run to men who verbally and known physically abuse to women, thinking they'd be different with her. There are some women that do that, and that's a percent, and that's usually because you know what? I'm not going to start rambling. I'm going to go ahead with Dr. Go ahead, you take the mic.
I said, I don't know how y'all find these people, because if you know a man who's verbally and physically abusive, that just means you just want somebody. You holding on to anything. I always say this: if you take a dump, you're going to go in the toilet and fish the turd out and hold it in your hand. No, you're not. That's what you're doing when you run to men like that. When you stay in a relationship with people who treat you like that, or you run to them, if you know that a man will put his hands on a woman, he would talk to one, he would trash her. For one, that man, he's a hurt man, and he hates women for some. He's a misogynist. No man who will put his hands on a woman or talk to a woman like that respects women. So the problem lies within you. You are seeking that because you just want anything.
Low self-esteem.
Anything. Yes, yeah, your self-esteem is just on the low end of the food chain. That is where your self-respect is. You don't need that. You don't want that. Learn to appreciate being by yourself. Learn to love the peace and quiet. Learn to love yourself. If you love yourself, you won't put up with shit from anybody. If you love yourself, I love me some me, and I can get by myself for the rest of my life. I wouldn't want to, because I wouldn't want to. I love love, but I'm not going. I respect myself enough to not be treated poorly. So I don't know why a woman would do that, and I just don't understand. I don't understand it.
And then that's why I told my daughter Gizelle and Dr. Micaela. That's why I told my daughter, and she's done a great job doing for herself in college, studying civil engineer architecture. I had the last boyfriend I had was in 2004. The last date I had was 2015. Just a date,
right? And
that was it. I haven't dated. I don't even know if I remember how, but but it's more like I have friends to hang out with. My core chakra has been left alone. I'm a reborn virgin. I'm a good girl. And I am writing about it, and it's weird. I like to write about it, and I like to make films about it, but I have not been engaging in it.
Friends, what are your thoughts regarding having friends when you're in a? I guess, what do you mean by friends? I mean, I have.
What are your thoughts regarding having friends when you're in or heading towards a monogamous relationship?
Maybe like friends that that are friends with benefits, like say you keeping those people around, and now you're being monogamous with someone.
If I'm in a relationship with somebody, I would not if I had a, I have friends that I've had since the third grade, and they're always going to be my friends. But I would never entertain a man who is attracted to me if I am in a relationship with someone. If I'm in a monogamous relationship, then that goes out the window. I will not disrespect the person I'm with by hanging on to a friendship with a person who is attracted to me or that I know who's going to be in a relationship with me. I would not do that.
Right.
But having friends, I think you when you go into a relationship with people, people have friends. Men are going to have female friends and we're going to have male friends. I would never ever try to change that dynamic. I would want to be friends with their friends as well. I want to get to know them too. But if there's an attraction there, then no, that's inappropriate.
Right, right, right.
So
what do
he
you think
wants-
about, say, someone that maybe your partner was intimate with before, but they're still friends? How do you feel about that?
I had that, and I let it go because it was disrespectful. I mean, when I got married, when I was in serious enough in a relationship, I'm like that went out the window. I mean, you can't. It's that to me it's just disrespectful.
Mm.
I'm not gonna, and they understand. I mean, everyone understands. I mean, but those are boundaries that you set. Nobody wants to. I don't think that. To me, that's just too much in the face of somebody that I love to be hanging out and pounding around somebody that I've ever been intimate with.
Right, right.
It's like playing with fire.
Yeah, it is. Because what happens when things go wrong, you go and you run into that person, and you never know
Right.
in your ignorance or you may do something retaliatory by sleeping with them.
You might need somebody to lean on, and they right there.
You don't want people that you can easily lean on. No, just
Right.
friends for life. Yeah, you should never. Your friend, your friend Gary should always be your friends, and that person should respect your friends, and they should be their friends too. And your friends should respect the person that you're dating, and the person that you're in love with, and the person that you plan to have a life with. It should go vice versa. And if they don't, then that's not your friend.
And also understand that that friendships have different like they evolve in different ways. So like maybe you guys are hanging out more, but now that I'm in a relationship, I can't do those certain type of intimate things out of respect for the partner, but that doesn't mean I have to like completely cut you off. I'm saying if you never were intimate with this person.
Right.
But like things like, that the partner might not be comfortable with, like maybe y'all used to go out to the movies together. Those things might make a partner uncomfortable,
My
you
friend
probably can't do that anymore. So now the friendship has evolved to not like that,
Right, like one of my friends, we've been friends since the 10th grade. So he was a part of my life. He's part of he came to our home, and I wanted him to meet, my husband. I wanted him to be a part of my life. So yeah, but then too, when you're in a relationship like that, you usually don't go out. I mean, my relationship with my friends did change because
Right.
who I was hanging out with was my man.
Right.
So I don't. Unless it was like sorority stuff or girl stuff, but I'm not, there's just something that you have to, there are boundaries, and you have to be able to respect, you have to know better. You just think, even like my friend, when he married, I was friends with his wife, but we didn't, like our thing, we would go to Six Flags every year, and we would always see certain horror films together. But that stopped when he got married because there's sometimes you have to let some stuff go so you can respect that relationship.
Right.
People love you, but the dynamic changes, and you have to change with that. Doesn't mean that it affects your relationship, but you have to be respected.
And some
And
people
if you
really
can't take that as a friend, if a friend can't take that evolution of the friendship, the way that it has to change, and it's taking offense to it, it's a little something sus about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a female friend who was jealous of my marriage, and right now she's not my friend now. After the split up, she did some crazy shit to me. It's like then I was able to, in retrospect, to see the jealousy, the snide comments that she made, towards us and stuff. So everybody's not going to be happy for you, and you look at that, let them go, because that's not a friend. That never was.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Your friend should be supportive on who you're with, not cause this unnecessary drama and chaos. And because my thing is, as long as my friend is happy and they're smiling and they're not getting abused. But here's the thing, a funny thing, I don't get involved with couples rivalry either. I
No,
don't. I
no.
did it one time in my life. I did it one time. He was beating on her, and I jumped in, and I got tossed to the bed, and I kicked him in the nuts. Sorry, but God bless his soul. He's not alive no more. You know, I didn't do nothing. God just took him when it was his time. And he was, when I saw him and her fighting, I thought I saw two men fighting with punches. She was throwing punches like a dude. So I said, "Dang, oh dang!" And then I jumped in like, "Don't touch my friend." I would, because even afterwards, even after he got arrested that night, even after everything, and she still took him back. Now she was young. She was just about to turn 18 years old. This guy was already in his 40s.
Oh my God, he was a bully, a narcissist.
Wow.
That's a narcissist.
And I told her, I was like, don't you think that he's a bit older to be with?
And
I
immature
was 18 years of age, and she was about to turn 18.
Oh
And I said, girl, you almost made me go to jail for you, just so that you can get back with this guy that is violent and abusive, verbally, emotionally, and spiritually, and all the way above abusive. I told her I won't do that again. I said, I'm not getting involved in your stuff. I'm not getting, if y'all, that must mean you like it. Slap her some more, son, because apparently she likes it.
And that's
And
not
some
love.
people do.
That's not love. And I don't know why.
It's not, but some people are masochists. They're masochists. They just like the abuse. I don't condone it, but what the hell? What am I gonna do?
Talk to me gently. Be nice to me, because that turns me on. You treat me like an asshole, I'm gone. I'm nice to you. Be nice to me. The minute I see you acting funky, I'm just dead. Bye. You're dead to me. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not. You're right. Yeah, you're right. I'm not talking to you. Integrity, self-respect. We don't have to deal with that. I had a friend, a really close friend of mine, and I liked her. She was a neighbor, and I liked her boyfriend a lot. And they used to get into it a lot. And when the disrespect got so bad, I would listen to her. When she finally decided to leave him, I was like, oh my God, thank God she's leaving. Then she was like, I'm gonna go back. And one time I just crossed. It irritated me so bad. I said something, and she stopped talking to me. Maybe just for a couple of weeks, and I apologized because I shouldn't have. But at that point, I interjected where I should not have. But I was so disgusted that she continued to be with someone who was so disrespectful to her.
Right. You're only human. You gotta express yourself too. You're like, oh my God.
Women get real defensive sometimes when you like getting on that person, even what I'm saying? Like when you get down verbally and are stating the facts about a person that they're dealing with, sometimes they get defensive about that, even though they know. But sometimes they don't want to hear that, and you'll end up falling out with your friend sometimes.
Yeah. And we're very clever. And I learned something just to listen, and but I interjected. I didn't allow her to talk to me. I was just going off. I was like, this blah blah. I was just running it down, and but she did. She stayed away, and she's happier for it.
Good. Oh.
Yeah.
Good for her. I noticed there was a lot of people who left marriages because they weren't healthy, and a lot of people are getting married this year in 2025. Let's go fishing. Grab your pole stick, everybody, and your bait. There's plenty of fish in the sea. There you go. That's what it is.
Fish in the sea. There's plenty of fish in the sea. You don't have to be with the asshole. Just take your time, sit back. Too many people think they're missing out on something. Like if a man is cheating on them, they got another woman, and you want to fight. One thing I have never understood is why a woman would get mad at the other woman when your man is the one who's the asshole. Don't get mad at her, get mad at him. Some people like being side pieces. That not my cup of tea, but he is the one with the problem. But you know what? The most powerful thing that you can do is walk away, shut your mouth, get to your friend, cut him off. You don't let a person live rent free in your head. When you debate them, when you argue, when you chase him, you are giving all your power away. He knows you're nothing but a sucker. He's gonna go back to you. He's gonna use you.
Right.
Because he can. You're going to be a doormat. Do not be a doormat. Walk in your power, because I guarantee there is a man or a woman out there who will love you the way that you deserve to be loved. But you cannot be loved the way you deserve to be loved if you do not love yourself. And for you to stay in a relationship with a person who treats you like shit means that you don't love yourself. So start to learn how to love yourself, sister.
Facts.
Yes,
Facts.
yes.
Facts.
I was talking to my friend about loving yourself the other day, like person, like sometimes people tolerate so much, but would you want that for your child? Would you want that for your mother? Would you want this for your friend? So why is it that we would accept so much to ourselves? Exactly. Then it comes down to we have to love ourselves more.
Yeah, we gotta love ourselves.
Yeah.
So what happens?
How you get
All right,
Gizelle. Yeah,
I know what that is.
Therapy can be. There are counselors. There are licensed professional counselors that are cheap, and their states also provide certain resources for you for free. So don't think that you can afford it. Just start looking for people to talk to, because sometimes your friends ain't shit. They're not going to tell you the truth. They're not going to tell you what you need to do. If they're going to lead you towards violence and getting back at it, don't get back at a person. The best revenge is to love yourself and to work on yourself and to cut them out of your life, because when they don't have access to you, that hurts them more than you realize.
Oh yeah,
access to you. They don't deserve access to you. Let them see your blow up, boo. Don't put up with it.
Well, why don't you let everybody know where they can find you again on all social media platforms, Dr. Micaela?
Yes, and you got to have my twin. My twin is a licensed psychologist, and y'all would love to have her on here. But you can find me.
Wow.
The easiest way to get to me, I'm Dr. DRM Dartson, Dr. M Dartson, DARTSON on Instagram and on Facebook. My account's are private, but if you tell me that you are a viewer of this show, I'll let you in. But I have 2 other sites that are public. You know, I have a cigar company, the Pink Smoke Cigar Company. So if you go on Pink Smoke 4, the number 4 U, the letter U. Pink Smoke for You. That is our cigar company, and you can reach me through there. And we may come to your city and do a cigar event. We're gonna be doing that music. Cigar
and you're out in Texas.
I'm in Dallas, beautiful downtown Dallas.
She in Dallas, Texas.
I got booked to sing at a wedding, so supposedly next year I might be out there in Texas.
Girl, come stay with me.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed talking with you today. I think you have a very bright spirit. You're very accomplished, very inspiring, and I'm looking forward to some of your projects that you're writing. I write as well, not only the songs, but like writing like stories, and I'm working on a film as well that I'm writing. I'm actually trying to shoot it and all that, but.
We got you. And also, I don't know if you know who Monaco. Do you know who Monaco Chilmore is? He's a Grammy Award-winning artist. He wrote the song for "Love of My Life." He won a Grammy for Common and Eric Badu. He is here.
What's the name again? What's the name?
Monaco. I'll send MNDU KWU. He's so nice. So if y'all ever when you're in Dallas, I'll tell you his studio just a couple of miles down. Meet him right now. He does every genre of music. He works with probably every artist in the industry. He is so humble and kind. And look about reach out to him. So
thank you. And this is the season finale of season 4 of From Her Point of View talk show. It's been going for 4 seasons, and Lizzie has hosted for all 4 of them. I've only hosted for these 2. And I would love for you guys to follow me everywhere at Gizzy Worldwide. That's GIZZY Worldwide.
And be sure to check out your girl Lily the Goddess. Go ahead and Google Lily the Goddess, and I'll come up on those social media platforms. So go ahead and you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. You could also find me on Facebook. Okay.
What's the song that your daughter's
Journey of Love. It's Lily the Goddess featuring Jacine, Journey of Love. And I can send it to you.
Yeah,
yes.
Okay, Journey of Love.
It's a very anime, because we like anime, so it's a very anime feel to it. That's the beat is definitely inspired by anime. And you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Flawless Dreams LLC. Yeah, I would appreciate
Alright.
this support. And also, you can find me on IMDb Pro as Leonessa Cruz, Leonessa Cruz.
Okay.
Yo, I love it. I love women who are about their business. I'm so proud of y'all. I want to be back on
Same
too.
here.
I want to be back on y'all. So I love this.
Okay.
Hey,
You got to have a psychologist perspective because she can really spit some good stuff on y'all.
you hear that? I said it.
You hear that? I said it.
I heard he said he probably said, yeah.
This is a great.
Well, this has been a special and great conversation, guys. And until we meet again, this is good night.
Good night, ladies. Thank you so much.
I'm sending you the song right now.
Huh?
I'm sending you the song right now.
Okay, thank you.
And check out "Pay Me" by Gizelle on YouTube when you can.
Hold on.
Oh, and we got
It's
a song.
on YouTube.
Gizelle, tell her we got a collaboration that we did together. It's coming, everybody. It's coming.
Right. We do have a collaboration coming up called Did You Notice? I gotta message you because I think Crystal messaged something. I didn't open it yet, but Gizelle Pay Me, that's only on YouTube. Check that out. And look forward to our collaboration coming this year. For sure. Lily. Good night, everyone. I know we're just going on and on, but good night.
All right, y'all. I love you. Thank you for tuning in. Shout out to Acosta Management and our brand ambassadors, Mimie Acosta and Lizzie Smith.
All right. Good night, ladies. Thank you so much again. I had fun.
Okay, peace.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
you up.